Headway to clubbing in Atlanta. This story time is about a night at a club called Club 112 that was on Cheshire Bridge and LaFista Roads. Club 112 was the Saturday night spot in Atlanta. Even Jermaine Dupri said it in his song with Ludacris in Welcome to Atlanta. JD says, Saturday is off, the heezy for sheezy. You can find me up in one tweezy. And this is where I went on this one particular night in Atlanta. Now, I pulled up in the club parking lot in my mama's four-door brown Toyota Camry. And I had just got my first job out of college, so I couldn't afford a new car yet. So I had to rock out with what I had at the time. As I kept driving to find a parking space, I noticed a four-door brown Toyota Camry that was identical to mine, y'all. I was like, damn, what a coincidence. I guess somebody else is rocking their mama's old Toyota Camry too. Well, anyways, despite my regular looking ass car, I looked like $1 million. I had my Bobby Brown swag. I had a flat top cut, low on the sides, and a green blazer with extra shoulder pads for that V look. Man, I walked up in that club like I had background dancers, man. Now, the club was packed, and back then, everything was huge. The dance floor was huge. The bar was flowing, VIP packed. I mean, it was lit, yo. Now, in the early 90s, Teddy Riley ruled party music, bro, with a style that he called the New Jack Swing. And he was in a group called Guy. Of course, me and my boys looked the part, just like the group Guy. And when that song Groove Me came on, oh, we put on a show. That's right. We put on a show. Women was like, damn, where them niggas from? Man, I was doing a running man and spinning around in a hot-ass blazer like I was Bobby Brown, bitch. You know it. You know it. I got my dance on, my drink on, and got me some numbers. The night was definitely a good night, man. But when it got close to around 3, I was all tapped out. So I told my boys, hey, man, I'm out, yo. And I headed to my car. So I get to the parking lot, and I try to walk straight because I notice I'm a little buzzed off that Henny. I get to my car, I crank my car up, put it in reverse, and I look back in my rearview mirror to make sure that there are no cars in the way as I back up. But there was a problem. I couldn't see what was behind me to back up. Now, I want y'all to guess what was blocking me and my view to back up. I'll wait. Do 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 do. Okay, I see your answers. And nope, nope, and nope. What was blocking my view to see what was behind my car before I backed up was a person staring at me in the back seat. That's right. There was a whole person looking back at me in my rearview mirror, y'all. So I froze, not knowing what he was about to do. For 10 seconds, I was looking at him, and he was looking at me like we was having a stare down. Well, I was like, fuck this stare down. I'm out this bitch. So I jump out the car. When I jumped out, I looked back and noticed that this was a drunk white boy who seemed startled. Once I figured out he was drunk, I started flexing, y'all. I said, nigga, get your ass out my car. Get out. Get out my car. He slowly got to the car, out of the car, stumbling, talking about, hey, I don't want no trouble, man. I don't want no trouble. And I'm like, how the fuck a drunk white boy get in the back of my car, yo? Well, full disclosure, I am an engineer by trade, and I pride myself in knowing how to figure things out. Dots started to connect quickly. Do y'all remember that car that I saw that was identical to mine when I pulled in that parking lot? Well, this drunk white boy probably was a passenger in that identical looking car with a group of friends that were still in the club. He got drunk, and his friends walked him to the car to chill out a while they went back to party. But here's the thing. They went to the wrong car. They went to my car, and apparently my irresponsible young ass left the back door unlocked. And I must have did it when I put my blazer on that I had lying on the back seat. So they accidentally placed old dude in my car instead of their car that was the exact same model and color as mine's, 2 parking spots down. So when I got in my car, old dude must have thought that I was some well-dressed carjacker, while at the same time, I thought he was some backseat kidnapper. Man, listen, this shit was a hot mess. I was like, man, let me go home and get to bed and act like this never happened. But before I finish the story, I want to walk you through something that I thought about on my drive back home. What if I would have bagged back in that parking spot, so that when I was leaving, I would have put it in drive to go forward without a need to look into the rearview mirror? Now, Club 112 was right by the entry ramp to Interstate 285. So do you know that at some point that dude would have woken up and made a noise and scared the living daylights out of me while I was on the highway? On the highway, y'all. People, count your blessings and know that God is always watching over us at all times. This is your boy, Ebony Man 2K, and I'm out. Ladies and gentlemen, I need for you to put your screen on full view. Please put your screen on full view. This is Ebony Man 2K, a.k.a. That Jolly Rancher, a.k.a. Pretty Ricky, what they call me, and a.k.a. the King of Receipts. I welcome you to my channel with the same name. I would like to send a shout out to my new subs who may have heard about me from other fellow YouTubers. I welcome you, and you are going to enjoy yourselves here. I want to send a special shout out to my loyal day ones who have upgraded their membership and got their badges and or have supported my efforts via Super Chat and Cash App and PayPal. And lastly, shout out to my shadow watchers who listen to me from the bushes or up in the clouds. I understand you may be cooking, driving, working out, or at work, and I appreciate that you're at least here kicking it with me. If you're away from your phone, computer, or laptop, and you're liking what I do while multitasking, I ask that you send a small super chat or Cash App donation during the premiere or while watching the playback to let me and the chat room know that you're here and you're rocking with us. The super chat button is in the chat room right under the chat room window. And my Cash App handle is $EBMN2K. That's $EBMN2K. This show of appreciation will go a long way in inspiring me to continue teaching and entertaining others on this YouTube channel. Now, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and set that notification bell to all. Again, this is Ebony Man 2K, and I welcome you, and I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Peace. This is Ebony Man 2K, and yes, you read the title correctly. This is a story time about when my mom called during a date weekend to ask me if I knew about this new thing they got out now called doing heads. She thought it was about fixing hair, y'all. So you got to hear this story time. And I'm not going to hold you up. We finna get into it right now. I have added a repeat of this story time for those who came into the premiere late. I will be in the chat if you have any questions or just want to chop it up. I also added a music video at the end that serves as a promotion of my upcoming story times. This is your boy, Ebony Man 2K. Let's get it. Y'all, put your screen on full view and look at this. I need for you to put your screen on full view. Do y'all see this lovely lady right here? I had to partly block her face to preserve her identity. I call her Chocolate Barber Doll. She used to purposely order a tall cafe mocha when we went out. And then she'll look at me with a devilish grin because she knew I would mentally make the connection with what she ordered and how she looked. A tall cafe mocha. Oh, she was clever, and at times perfectly matched my wit. Now, we loved each other's body, but even more so, we loved each other's mind. The mind sex made the real sex much more intense. And that's real talk. Now, this is my master bedroom in my first purchased townhome in East Cobb, Atlanta. I did not know it at the time, but East Cobb is one of the most sought after areas in America because of its school system. And I also purchased the property foreclosed at a low price. So I purchased a nice starter home in a prime area and got equity at closing. So yes, I hit a triple-double on my first real estate debut. Like I was Magic Johnson, man. Now, I met Shorty around the same time I bought my home. She was excited about it more than I was. She wanted to help decorate it, so I gave her $50 and told her to go all out, baby, and do your thing. Yeah, I'm just playing. But I was living on a budget. At the time, I had cheap black lacquer bedroom furniture and a pleather black sofa and love seat downstairs. She was able to put together a young bachelor starter kit with a basic comforter for my bed, them throw pillows that serves no other purpose than being in the way, that vase with them sticks in it, candles from a garden tub, and more vases with sticks in it. For example, here's my cute little dining room area she decorated for me with custom blinds in the back. Bless her heart. She did good with what she had. I consider her the real MVP. All right, so here's the backstory. I met this young lady at Essence Festival during a 4th of July weekend. I was at a Kid Capri party hosted by the one and only Dougie Fresh. Man, look, Dougie Fresh got on the mic to perform the classic song, The Show, and I had to find someone to dance with. Luckily, this chocolate barber doll caught my eye, so I just walked up to her and held out my hand. She asked me, "What are you doing?" I replied, "You gonna let my arm fall off?" She replied, "Nigga, you ain't Billy D. Williams, and this ain't Lady Sings the Blues. Now you come with me." And she took my hand and led me to the dance floor. We danced and chatted and flirted. We hit it off and exchanged numbers and talked on the phone for weeks after the Essence Festival. Now remember, social media was almost non-existent at the time. So there was no photos being sent to no DMs. We were just going off on what we remembered how each other looked during the brief time on the dance floor during the Dougie Fresh song. And that was hard for me because at the point in the party, I was tipsy off that Hennessy. But nonetheless, I still made it do what it do in terms of closing the deal. I convinced her that if she really wanted to get to know me, she needed to come and let this aroma from my chest hit her nose. She agreed, so she got flued out to see about Ebony Man 2K. And that's flued, Flewed, flued. Now, full disclosure, I am an engineer, and at the time, I was flying out every week for on-site visits with clients working on projects. So when she was flew in on Friday, her flight came in before mine, and I provided transportation to my house and left a key under the mat for entry. I talked to her on the phone to make sure she was comfortable. I pointed out where things were and gave basic instructions. There was one instruction that was very important to me. It goes a little something like this. Hey, if the phone rings, don't pick it up. Just let it roll over the voicemail. I repeat. Hey, if the phone rings, don't pick it up. Just let it roll over the voicemail. I think y'all all know where this is going, right? So my plane touches down late Friday evening. As I stated before, her flight came in earlier and she's already at my house. I called to check on her and let her know I just made it in. I asked her if everything is okay. She said yes, but then said, "Oh wait, I talked to your mom." I said, "You talked to my mom?" I'm baffled because I can't figure out how this could have possibly happened after I gave her clear instructions not to pick up my phone. She proceeds to say that the phone rang and she forgot, but talked to my mother, and my mother said, "Call her as soon as I get in because it's an emergency." Now, this ain't good, y'all. This ain't good at all. I'm already stressed out by work-related stuff from a client. This business travel every week is draining my energy. And now I got to deal with someone who can't follow simple instructions. And then I got to call my drama queen mama, who I already know is about to exaggerate something, so she can have a reason to call me 11 times. I'm hot, yo. I'm hot. My weekend ain't starting on the right foot. So I get to the house, walk in, and immediately ask her to explain this conversation with my mother again. She confirms that yes, she accidentally picked up the phone, talked to my mom, and she said call her as soon as I get in because it's an emergency. So now I'm like, oh shit, somebody done died. Somebody done died, yo. So I first come down because I could see she was nervous. I mean, what a hell of a way to start a rendezvous weekend with someone you just getting to know. I fixed a glass of wine, picked up the phone to call my mother, while my girl looked at me nervously, wringing her hands. The phone rings, my mom picks up. I said, "Hey, I heard that there was an emergency. What's going on?" My mom replies, and I quote, "Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you. Have you heard of this new thing they got out now called DOIN HEADZ? I repeat. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you. Have you heard of this new thing they got out now called DOIN HEADZ? Now, first, to put things in proper context, my mom was a middle school counselor and a Sunday school teacher. So if hearing this seems odd to you, it was odd to me tenfold. So I said, Mama, what are you talking about? She says, well, a girl came into my office today and said she needed to talk to me because everybody's talking about her doing heads. I thought the girl was talking about doing hair. So I asked her where she does heads at because I'm trying to figure out why would they be teasing her. She said sometimes she does it in the gym behind the bleachers, which I thought was odd. I said, well, let me ask you this, baby. What time do you do heads? Because if you do it before the bell ring, technically you're not on school time. And I'm sure I can get the principal to sign off on it. Then the girl looked at me funny. So then I asked her how much she charged. The girl said nothing. I said, well, baby, that's why they talking about you. You coming in here every morning doing heads, and you not making no money. As a matter of fact, I got a brother who does men and women, and he makes good money per head. Now, by this time, y'all, I am laying on the floor on my back in utter disbelief. My girl is looking at me all nervous, and I know at this point she want to take her ass back home. So my mom continued this story on how she accidentally counseled a student to give head for pay before the school bell rings, y'all. She says even though she thought she was giving the girl good advice, she noticed the girl kept looking at her strange. And then my mom says this. And then the girl told me, she explained that doing heads was sucking on a boy's dangling. And I said, oh, Jesus, have mercy, Lord. Jesus, have mercy, Lord. I had to call in another counselor to finish off my session. Y'all, I fainted and I went in and out of coma 2 or 3 times, yeah. I just could not believe what I was hearing. I finally got myself together and I told my girl, look, let's get out of here and go to Cheesecake Factory. My mood reminded me of how Biggie handled the situation on his song, I Got a Story to Tell, where he had to fake rob somebody to get out of a situation. Biggie said, that nigga was pulling mad G's off the floor. I put stacks in a Prada knapsack and hit the door. I grabbed the keys to the file, called my niggas on the cell, bring some weed, I got a story to tell. This short music video serves as an introduction to my upcoming series, Storytimes with Ebony Man 2K. It gives you a glimpse of the type of people, places, and things I have experienced early on in my young adult life. My subscribers have asked me to share my experiences dating in Atlanta, my time spent in Rio de Janeiro during Carnival, freak dick stories, and other general social stories in my life. Some of the photos in this video captured those experiences. The time frame of these photos are from the mid-90s to the early 2000s. Again, this video serves as a prelude to my story times and adds proper context of people, space, and time. This is Everyday Man 2K. Let's get it. This is Everyday Man 2K. I need for you to put your screen on full view. The title of this song for this music video is called When We Were Young by Adele, and the cover is being performed by Mackenzie Johnson. Please check out our channel and join. Thank you.
Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home, you're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're here alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light, in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears, 'cause nobody told me that you'd be here. And I swore you'd overseas, 'cause that's what you said when you left me. You still look like a movie, you still sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light, in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song. When we were young, when we were young, when we were young, when we were young. It's hard to win me back, everything just takes me back to when you were there, to when you were there. And a part of me keeps holding on, just in case it hasn't gone. I guess I still care. Do you still care? It was just like a movie, it was just like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. When we were young, when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light, in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old. It made us restless. Oh, I'm so mad I'm getting old, it makes me reckless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song when